Hi guys, it's Paula from PSE Creations. Welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are returning. Today's video is a flip through of a Tom and Jerry's Party little golden book junk journal that I made. So again, I think in my last video flip through of a little golden book, I had said that I was working on some junk journals that you don't see as often. I love making them for the ones that you do see, but I thought, oh, Tom and Jerry, I love it. Just like my previous one that I did was Pound Puppies, and I loved Pound Puppies growing up. So I said, let's go ahead and make a Tom and Jerry's one. And I found this little golden book. It has a little bit of wear on here, but it still looks great. I love it. The wear adds character, in my opinion. So we moved forward and made it. So a little bit about this journal and about my process is I do keep the golden spine. This was actually a silver spine. So this one is a little silver spine journal. I do keep it, but I do cover it with a lace in most cases, if not all cases, to be honest with you. So the book itself is a traditional sized little golden book, which measures 6 by 8. Obviously, once you take and undo the original spine, it has book corners on all four, so they're silver book corners. There is an eyelet on the front and on the back. As I mentioned, the spine is covered with some lace, and I also for this one added this beautiful vintage trim that I had, and I thought it went so well. And the back, again, I don't cover the back. I just leave it as is. The barcode itself doesn't even bother me when it has a barcode. Some of them do, some of them don't. And the backs of all of them are slightly different. So I like that. This is tied through the eyelets. And this is vintage, blue vintage seam binding. And when we go into it, again, as I mentioned before, I do not do anything to the front cover or the back cover of the golden books. I just leave them as is. The spine I do cover with some fabric, and this just so happens to be fabric tape that I found on clearance many years ago. And I thought perfect because the color theme of this journal really was blues. So just going off of the cover, so I just stuck with blues. So the front page, usually I do try to keep it to be the original front page of the book. And this one has a copyright of 1955. So this one is an oldie but a goodie. And who doesn't love Tom and Jerry? I mean, come on, right? I think so. Okay. So the story is in its original order. So you should be able to read the book if you are interested in it. I believe I kept it in its order. So the first or the second page is a vintage music sheet, and I have one of my large junk mail pockets, and I made this beautiful fun card. I won't say it's beautiful. Well, I mean, it is beautiful, but it's a fun card, right? Enjoy today, enjoy fun. So we have Tom and Jerry, and here I have a little fabric cluster or a fabric flower that I bought from someone with a vintage button that I glued on it. And then these are just little party stickers that I thought it went great because they have their party hats on, and this is Tom and Jerry's party. So yeah, this is vintage lace, and what I did was I actually it's originally white, but I used Tim Holtz oxide to dye it to be like a bluish gray color. This is food dyed paper, so as you can see it's blue, or I hope you can see that it's blue. And the pan that I dried it with gave it little lines. This is a piece of unused ledger paper, vintage ledger paper, and just a little cardstock tab. A page from a floral book that I have. This is the page of the book that continues on. fabric flip. So this is vintage fabric and vintage lace. It's sewn on, and underneath it is just a lined blue writing sheet for you to write notes if you'd like. And then underneath that is the vintage dictionary page, and that dictionary page is from the 1960s. Chocolate filler dual. So this is a reproduction vintage invoice. This is food colored paper, and it's like a pink tone. Coffee dyed lined notebook paper. Here the story continues. This is just a lightweight construction. I'm sorry, not construction. A lightweight cardstock. I added a little bit of fabric lace down here, and there's just 2 vintage cards in there as little pockets. Here is another reproduction invoice or ledger page. This is typewriter paper that's been coffee dyed. Here we have a 1930s dictionary page that has been decoupaged with the white part of a napkin, sewn all the way around, and then a little bit of vintage lace on the end right here. This is the middle signature, and we have a fabric cluster page end here that we made into a little pocket, and this has just a vintage postcard from Germany, I believe. It is unused, but it is a vintage postcard. And we have oh my gosh, Jerry. Journey. My goodness, sorry. And again, here is the other side of the vintage dictionary page that's been decoupaged with a napkin, the white of a napkin. This is another typewriter page, and I say typewriter because it's very, very thin, right? So the other side of it, we've seen the other one. Here is the other piece of the reproduction invoice ledger, and the lightweight cardstock with the fabric pocket. And this is a little mouse Christmas postcard. It is postmarked 1981. So it is vintage, right? Yep. And here the story continues. Here's the other side of the coffee dyed line notebook page. The other side of the other reproduction invoice. Here is one of the junk mailer envelopes. We have a Tom and Jerry. It says, they're saying it's a moment with a butterfly. It's sewn all the way around. This is recycled food containers and a little black fabric tab. All right. Again, the story continues. We have the other side of the floral book page and a little paper tab. The vintage ledger paper, food dyed paper with lines. Here we have Tom and Jerry again on one of these scrap paper cluster pockets on the end here. And a little bit of fabric I added there. And then we have this vintage postcard that is unused. The story continues, and we go on to the second signature, and again the story continues on. We have another one of the junk mailer envelopes. Here I added a little cluster of a vintage envelope with a postmarked stamp. We have Tom and Jerry there. We have Tom and Jerry and their friend having fun. Little fabric tab up the top, sewn all the way around. The vintage lace that I used the Tim Holtz Oxidite on. This is just another food dyed copy paper, And I just added this Tim Holtz washi tape there. I just thought it looked good. Here's another of the ledger page. This one actually has the number. It was page 85 of the ledger, and a little paper tab. A page from the, it's a hummingbird actually, and it's a page from the floral or bird book that I have. And the story continues here and here. Here's another one of my large junk mailer pockets. Discover adventure today. So you have Tom and Jerry. So you have Tom and Jerry, right? Yeah. And again, this is a recycled food container. And you have their friend right there. He is not happy because he didn't get any food. You have Jerry that has 3 burgers. Tom is extremely excited about having 1 burger, and he's just very grumpy about not having any burgers. And this is another cluster with a vintage envelope piece and a postmarked stamp. And this is on a vintage music sheet. Reproduction invoice again. Typewriter paper. Here is the lightweight cardstock. And this time I added the little pocket as a side tuck of the fabric lace. This is vintage fabric lace. And in it is just a Sudoku page and these little scrap note little pieces of paper. All right, the story continues. He's trying to get into the washing machine. Oh my God. Third cat squeezed himself behind the door. They're trying to hide. Copy dyed notebook paper. Copy paper that's been food dyed blue. Reproduction invoice. This is again a piece of the 1930s dictionary page, but this one I used the sewing pattern to cover it. Sewed all the way around. I did add vintage lace here. This is the middle of the second signature. You can do so much here. You can write on here. You can add a pocket here if you want to. You can stamp on here. So definitely areas where you can definitely write on it. On this side of it, I added one of my little side cluster pockets using their side paper cluster pockets. And we have Tom and Jerry, and he's not very happy with Tom. I'm not sure why. I think we all know why, but we're gonna leave them to their business. And just a beautiful postcard. It's like a painting postcard. It's Vincent van Gogh. Okay, there you go. And the reproduction, another side of the reproduction invoice. Food dyed paper. The other piece of the lined coffee dyed notebook paper. The story continues. The little kittens are hiding. They're trembling in the little market basket. That's not good. We don't want them to tremble and hide. Here is our fabric vintage lace pocket. And this is just a Tim Holtz ephemera piece. And this is one of the reproduction invoices. Vintage invoices. There we go. So I thought this was great to go in here. And again, this is on a lightweight cardstock. Copy dyed typewriter paper. Here's the other side of the reproduction invoice, the blue one. We have different colored ones, as you can tell in this book. Another cluster pocket. Now, I did not add anything specific to this, but you can add so much to it. This is a envelope, a vintage envelope from 1952. And there is nothing in the envelope, but you can use your imagination on what you can hide in there. And then this is little bingo sheets. You get 3 little bingo sheets. Vintage lace, and again, I used the Tim Holtz Oxide. And we're getting to the end of the story. Yay! And they're all happy. Oh, that's how we love to see it. All getting along. Here's another of that hummingbird book page with the paper tab, vintage ledger, unused ledger, coffee dyed, I'm sorry, not coffee dyed, food dyed paper. And here is the final little enjoy moments with Tom and Jerry little tag and junk mailer envelope, vintage 1-cent stamp, and then this little sticker here, little music sheet collage right there. And then I did add this Tim Holtz washi tape. And this is on a 1960s vintage dictionary page. This was actually part of the journal itself. It had like an extra page in it. You don't see that in all the ones. At least I have not seen them in all the ones where it has an extra page. So I did my best to keep it in. So for 15 cents, save 15 cents. Retail price of $1.50 or more. 1982 Western Publishing Company, it says. All right, and that's it. That is the flip through of, hold on. That is the flip through of the Tom and Jerry's Party Little Golden Book Junk Journal. So if you are interested in this little golden book junk journal, my website is right here, pseandcreations.com. I will also have it in the description section below. And if you have any questions or comments or anything that you would like to see or know, please let me know and I'm happy to respond. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys, and I will talk to you on my next video. Bye.